Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been one whole week. We're one man down, but we're trucking along here on the Talking About type videos here on the second channel. What do we call them? Reviews? Discussions? Who knows? Anyway, today we are just here with Ari and Bacon, and they are about to give their very thought out, well-informed summaries of what they thought about the episode. And we're going to start with Mr. Bacon.
Yeah, a lot of action. I was thinking about this. I need you guys to fact check me here. Is this the best action animation in a singular episode in Attack on Titan?
Probably
we've had
not.
with Wit. I want to say probably not, but whenever I think about Wit or even Attack on Titan before this, they had good action scenes, but they didn't have it for as prolonged as this episode. This episode just kept on going, just kept on going. So this, I mean, I know you got the classic Levi scenes, which are those individual pieces of animation are better than anything here, of course.
Yeah.
But lots of time, then Wit just takes a breather. Anyway, it makes a lot more sense that they were so reserved and conservative on their animation the last few episodes. So they really turned up here. It was really quite phenomenal. Yeah.
Yes. Mr. Ari, whatever question I asked Bacon, I'm asking you the same.
Yes, okay. So what did I think about the episode? I'm thinking about the chapter it's based on, I guess, and I thought, I don't remember that much from it, I guess. Everything coming up, from here onwards, I remember really well, because I think I've read them quite a bit. But from this one, I remembered the Shardis and Magath thing at the end, or Magath, I guess, at the end. And I think they did a good job with that scene. When it comes to the animation, there definitely was good animation. But some of it didn't look it didn't appeal to me in a way. Maybe it was the way it's directed or the camera movement or something, but there was some problems I had with it. But there were definitely some really cool bits with the animation. But yeah, there was a lot of action this episode, which I liked.
Oh, we've got to get into that then. We're going into that. Which parts did you not like so much? Let's get specific already.
So, okay, well, I would say
this is definitely an episode where we can jump around, by the way. I don't know if we have to go chronologically, but
yeah.
So I would say in terms of the action scenes, there were four big ones. There was one with Connie. Oh no, let's say there was one with Flock and Hanji and Mikasa on the roof.
Yeah.
I think. Which I thought that was a bit it was good, but it was a bit jagged. It felt like it was missing.
Yeah.
Not missing, intentionally jagged. Possibly.
Yeah, that's what
okay, so this is what I was going to bring. I was actually going to praise.
This is the one I wanted to bring up too. Yeah, I think I'm more on Bacon's side.
Because I was finally now this kind of whole sequence is very anime original. I mean, I was looking through the manga and it doesn't convey
that one's not in there.
Same thing that he there's a few small things he kind of mugs off Hanji and all this stuff, but
I didn't even remember
I think it's the first time that is when they use the animation that's kind of off model, the first time in Mappa at least, and maybe even Wit didn't do it very often either. They kept them really on model, and this really my issue with Mappa's use of the 3D maneuvering gear when they are flying around is that often there's not nearly as much weight. They have to feel when you're following a person on this camera, they're getting pulled along by their waist and they're really getting flung back, and a lot of the time Mappa does not really give that sense of force that these ODM gears, or what they're called, 3D maneuvering gears. I know they changed in the dub, I got confused. Well, they do, and so here it was just it used what I think 2D animation does so well, which is when they go off model to really convey an impact.
Yeah,
and I thought was finally this actually looks like the motion was just conveyed so much to me in that moment.
Yeah.
But was also kind of thinking, I was I'm still subscribed to the Turnfoot Reddit, and I saw one thing called Flock King, and I was oh, this is the moment they're all going crazy about. So that maybe took me out of the moment a little bit.
There were a lot of people that were down on that because they didn't think Flock should have a Sakuga moment, because then it would it'd make him look cool and people would like him. There's a few things here, because there's two things, because it is off model. I think that's one way to describe it, but it's also it looks like the frame rate. I'm doing the what do you call it? Fucking quotation marks around it. It looks like the frame rate is a little off. Now, this reminds me, and I'm sure all the Naruto fans are like, oh, I know exactly where he's going. It reminds me of the pain. This scene is memed on a bit because the internet used to hate it, but now the internet really likes it. It also, that principle is in, I want to say USA, but the Devilman Crybaby dude, all of his stuff is like that, where it like promotes going off model to have more fluidity and motion. It's interesting because I feel like it's something you have to, it's like everything is like this, but it's like a convention you have to be trained to like, I guess. Like, I remember thinking that the pain scene was a little off when I was younger, and I know the internet used to meme on that scene a lot in like 2013, 2014, but now it's got a bunch of defenders because actual animation people have sort of come on the scene and talked about like, oh no, like the fluidity is what you look for in good animation. I was doing them again.
Yeah. Well,
it's sort of, it's just a
I wouldn't
difference in
say
taste, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like a quote unquote quiet taste. I think I've actually always kind of like this, as long as it's not goofy. And to me, this didn't come
The
across
pain
as
one is goofy.
I do understand.
That's another
Yeah,
reason.
like when I was watching the pain one, I was like, okay, I understand people didn't like this because it does feel a little goofy, particularly when they go in his face. But when Flock is just like his limbs are being extended, like because of it, it just gives you this feel of the impact, at least for me.
It is.
And I think in comparison to the rest of the 3D, like even with Connie and him getting moved around here, I'm like, this guy does not feel like he literally yanked across, because they always just feel like they're flying across and then they've got this line which has been animated in between them. But this one was like, really, you felt the momentum, and I don't think they've really done that with Attack on Titan before. So I understand if it's a bit jarring. But
Yeah.
I was like,
There's something to be said because you do notice that it's different. And I feel like there's two ways to go of like, oh, it looks off and I don't like it, and oh, it looks off, like this is better. Or you sort of go into one of two camps. It was funny because me and Bacon seemed to have both liked it. Ari didn't. I did watch the Normies reaction, which we are accustomed to doing. And they were on Ari's side. I know they pointed that out about how it looked weird.
Well,
that's interesting.
I think I don't think my problem is with the exaggeration like of features and stuff. Because like in particular, I got like two examples, I guess, which is like in Jujutsu Kaisen, like I think they do it really well. Like there's a lot of really over exaggerated, like this is impossible to be like a real anatomical kind of like position or anything. But
it's a very
like they do it really well.
Right? Like tonally and things like that.
It is, yeah, I guess, which is why
I thought that's where you're going with it. I was trying to finish your sentence, but
I think where I was gonna go with is that in my opinion, the reason like Jujutsu Kaisen also has the same issue, I think, not issue, but the same thing of having like the exaggeration and also sometimes skipping frames, like when you're animating. So there's like big jumps between like certain features, but it works so well in Jujutsu Kaisen because I think the lighting of the scene, as well as the actual like camera movement, like quote unquote, like CG camera movement, works really well in Jujutsu Kaisen. But for me, for some reason, I don't know why, but in this episode, it was a bit off. Like it was still like, I think it's still better than like any of the animation in at least this part of the season, Attack on Titan, but it was just off a little bit, I guess. Like I still love the episode animation overall. But...
I'd like to actually talk a little bit about that exact thing with because I went to go see Jujutsu Kaisen 0 yesterday, and with these they're movies, and so you expect the animation to be a lot better. And it did look really good, but I kept on noticing that, like, at least compared to Mugen Train, which is kind of hard, but even like the most recent Demon Slayer, like, it's just different, interesting styles where Mappa will be willing to, like, be just not as smooth in the animation. Like, they'll go with things just as complex, but they will miss quote unquote frames more. And to me, I guess in the movie, I was a little bit disappointed with I mean, the effects animation was beautiful, and the actual composition and the camera work was really good. But I think coming off watching something like Arcane, where everything's just so smooth and I'm able to track things so closely, to something like this, where, I mean, and it didn't feel like super effective, like in how it uses its more limited animation. So like it didn't wow me as much, and there was no sequence in the Zero that like blew me away actually, which was kind of weird. But it was just, I think it's because maybe my standards are just too high at this point. Like I watched too much stuff back to back to back, and then the fact that I'm able to go home from watching a movie then to watching an episode on TV and being like, that felt similar in just like like how much like once I got to the Fox scene or like the Mikasa scene afterwards, I was just really impressed. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's like consistent animation, which is like hard to sustain. Like they do such a good job.
Yeah,
Like in
and
this
it's just like
episode.
yeah, they just go back to back to back and they just keep on doing it again and again. And I think, I mean, I think it was like all just so much praise for it, like in the fact that like they didn't have one just like okay, this Levi scene is actually sick. It's so good. They've and you can tell like oh god, they put the whole budget in that one. Like it was just like really consistent and I don't know.
It is true because earlier I was going to say like the other episode that comes to mind that might have better animation than this one is the season 3 part 2 episode. I think it's called Hero. I might be wrong, but that one has the Levi Beast Titan scene, which is very well animated. And then it has all the Arm and Colossal Titan stuff as well, which I remember being well animated. Does it also? Yeah. No, that's the next episode where Piet comes in to save Reiner. Which I remember looking pretty good. But
I mean,
before we continue, just quickly,
Yep.
I'm going to take my piss break now while Megan's still here, so you can can talk about something, and I don't leave Ari here to entertain my chat by myself. So continue. I could have taken it there when you were talking about Jujutsu Kaisen, but what if they said, "Carl, what do you think?" and I'm not here? That would have been bad. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm watching back this Flock thing now, and like, so Anji comes in and swings with her sword, and you can just see like when you see like the blades curve, and you're like, well, that's not realistic, but you can, I don't know,
you feel it more.
Yeah, I was really impressed. I mean, I think also, I think watching this now, and I think I didn't gather this as nearly as much. I mean, it's just because they're putting more emphasis on it with the fact that just because of how it's been animated, but like I really don't, it's not that there is no good and bad in Attack on Titan, but it is very much like I don't know, the Alliance are clearly doing some pretty awful things, I guess. Like it makes everything like to me it feels so much more great. Like before I guess I was so much like, oh well, clearly like Attack on Titan is like, let's stop the guy who's committing genocide. But it's also like, well, it really does suck that you're having to do all this. Like the fact that like we go from one episode where Connie and Armin are really battling over trying to kill their friends, including Jean, and then they're just like, we just have to go. We just have to kill so many of them now. It's like, it's pretty. I'm not backing down, Miller. I'm just being interested in like I think. Yeah, like the more it's more nuanced in it. So
I just
didn't realize it as much.
That you don't care about the people dying? Is that what I'm inferring from Miller's?
No. It's well, yeah, it's that I forgot how like, how morally grey, how much blood is on the Alliance's hands, effectively.
It's funny because I think they kind of like downplay the violence and like overplay it in the episode compared to the manga. I definitely feel like, I don't know, this is kind of my overall issue, I guess, with the episode. I think the episode is pretty good. I think it's just particularly because I'm more attached because I recently reread these two chapters back to back. The urgency and like I've praised the season consistently for being more slow paced, but I feel like in retrospect, these two episodes kind of could have been one really quick episode. Because when I look at, I just have this random page up because we were talking about the Flock stuff. But like, if we look at this page, there's like face reaction shot, Connie cutting in, Hanji then cutting the other way, coming in from behind, which I don't think they ever did this shot. I was waiting for it because it's like my favorite shot from this chapter or something. It sticks out in my mind. The Hanji from the back stab through. I don't think we got this one. And then a Mikasa one. It just feels like a million things are happening. And the biggest issue, I think, the worst scene, it's like 30 seconds. So I guess it's a scene. Shot, I don't know. In the episode is when the train gets blown up. If I can scroll down, I think it's after this, or is it before it? I think it might be before it, and I'm scrolling the wrong way. It is before it. In the manga, it feels like, it just feels, I guess, like more like, holy fuck, that happened, we have to move on immediately, what's going on, sort of thing. Here we go. Oh, that's right, because it's like a match zoom-in shot here, because it's like Hanji pointing at the train, and then it like zooms in, like the panel zooms in a bit, and then it shows like the explosion, and it's like big turnaround, dramatic, huh? And then we get a reaction shot from the Jaegers, and then a shot of the train over. And then there's like a kinetic, like, it feels like every panel in like the action scenes in this chapter is like an immediate, like, I feel like I can see like the camera goofily shaking as like big development after big development in the action like happens. And I feel like the episode kind of didn't do that. Instead, it was sort of these longer shots which show off the cool animation. And I didn't really ever feel like tense in the episode that they were going to lose or anything. But I don't know.
I feel like that could be a bit of a manga thing as well, where you can just. I mean, in this one, I was kind of like, I went back and read the manga, and I wasn't sure if I liked it more because I completely forgot about the train. When I saw the train, I was like, holy crap! You know, they show the train and they show more soldiers inside, and they kind of give it a bit more time to it. I was like, oh, okay, this is quite a big deal. How did they? Because I forgot about it. I imagine, like, if I was to be like first time watching, I'd be like, how are they going to deal with this? And then it just explodes, and then you're like, oh, okay, well, like that's a mystery. But then they kind of don't answer that question straight away, and then, you know, continue onwards. I was like even this, I forgot that Shardis was the guy who did it. So then I was like, how did Gabby do that, or like did they? Anyway, so
I think it's just because this is most recently in my brain. But go on.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was said best. I'm going to quote another podcast, and maybe some people will roll their eyes because they think they're too cool for it. But I do occasionally. Actually, no, I don't occasionally. I pretty much listen to every episode of the Trash Taste Boys, which is like with Guguk and, you know, some other big anime tube dudes, and they were saying that like there hasn't been like just one sequence that has really got everybody hyped up about the new Attack on Titan episodes since Mappa kind of started. And I do think about like lots of seasons, but like each season 3 part 1 and 2, they had like that one Levi scene there, the Beast Titan Levi scene or the Kenny Levi scene, where you can just post that GIF on Twitter or post it anywhere and people like be like, oh, this is sick. And I think this episode was the first time where you'd be like, Map is kind of flexing their stuff, where you could have like certain sequences that really do kind of pop off.
I did see every scene posted on Twitter with like 3K likes today, all the little different Sakuga moments. But
yeah,
so
so I'm pretty so I think in a way, like, for getting Attack on Titans, I mean, I always like a good animation. I mean, this is why I watch anime in a way. Like, you know, it may be controversial to say, but often it's not really as much for the stories, because, you know, stories can be said in other places, but I like how the animation is able to convey those stories. And so if you're not doing something really interesting with animation that makes it unique, you know, that's not always using it to its fullest. But yeah, no, I mean, I really I do understand though that like if you had this kind of like rush, like, oh my word, what it's just chaotic. It didn't feel chaotic. I think it did feel like, okay, here's one scene, here's another scene. Here's gonna be Mikasa, just, you know, like, it's weird. Like, I did see Heath is in the chat, like, the fact that Mikasa's shown to be so cool when she's killing them, and like I didn't get that vibe, but now thinking about it, it's like, yeah, that's totally is meant to be cool, right? Like,
yeah, the Mikasa part, I think a lot of that is added. I could be forgetting, but she definitely doesn't like.
Oh, it's totally added.
Yeah.
I saw people complaining on Twitter about like, how it was like unnecessary that she like shot the things.
It was,
like,
but it was really cool, dead. Especially when she looked at the fucking camera.
I don't think it though. I think it was purely logical. My interpretation was that
the other dude got up after he cut her the first time, but yeah.
Well, it was also like, dude, someone else could be using those things, you know.
True.
Like, so she should just explode them, you know. Like, that's the purely logical thing, you know. When she's like, and she's not going to spend much more time. So if they're pointing downwards, and it also has the rule of cool, well, then that's just efficient story writing, and that's actually really, really good, in my opinion. Anyway, so I've been talking for quite a bit.
Not Bacon. Miller said in chat, can you really feel tense they'll lose if you've already read it? Well, I remember I did not like this chapter that much the first time. I was probably still on action is bad back when these chapters were coming up. Truly on my best guy ever talking points. But it wasn't until I reread them for the fucking clothes video. What the fuck did I call that video? What it means to be a scout. It was only then when I really like fell in love with these 2 chapters. So yeah, I already knew what happened then. The series was fucking over. So yeah, I felt tense for him, and I didn't really this time. I feel like when you rewatch things, you still feel like the tension and stuff like that. Miller's being an idiot.
No, he's agreeing with me. I like Miller.
Yes, that double so he's being an idiot. Just quickly to change subjects. Oh, did you want to say something on this, Bacon?
No. Go ahead.
Okay. I completely forgot
Does
about
Ari
this.
have anything to say?
Oh yeah, about
Does
this
Ari-
before we move on.
No,
I
we
feel
can
like
move on.
Ari's always sitting in the back. He's always just chilling.
I'm just waiting for my moment.
The
Okay.
I was just going to talk
Yeah.
about things that were added, which kind of connected. I'm kind of segueing here. I thought this Falco John scene was completely added, and I thought it was a really clever addition because they're kind of connected in a few different ways. Like John nearly killed him back in Liberio, and they've sort of had moments here, and them having moments in this. I thought in this episode, by the way, they like connected this to the Liberio fight a lot, like they paralleled it a lot more than I ever got out of the manga. But I thought this scene was completely anime added, but it turns out nope, it's here. It's only 3 panels, but yeah, him cutting himself with a nail, I was like, oh, that's fucking gross. But go off, King.
This is one of those things that I think if I read it in a book, I'd like get all the small panels more easily. But when I'm scrolling to read it when the chapter comes out, you get hyped, and like I just miss so many of these small details. And I think the anime, because it's action, it just allowed me to understand and expand upon what's actually happening in this fight and the tension behind. Like for this, I didn't quite realize that Aina and Annie like were getting beaten up so bad because they were trying to protect the mechanics and all this stuff. Like maybe I'm just a bad reader, where I'm just like, oh my word, these two are actually getting properly beat up, and they make it really clear. You see like Annie's arm getting like thrown off, and like Reiner's face getting completely destroyed. And like all these things, and it puts a really big deal on Falco, and then Falco turns up, and like his Titans. Like I feel like I got so much a better grasp of how his Titan looks because of the colors, than in the manga here. Yeah, no, it's like he has some like red. He's like rooster feet, and then it's a bit of gray in there. I thought it definitely looks really cool.
Very birdy, more birdy, I would say, than initially. But yeah.
And you got to see a lot more angles of it, like when he's trying to eat Flock, because they expand upon that scene, and a lot of things. And so, I feel like, yeah, this is like, yeah, no, I was really, really impressed with it. It's one of those things. Like I came back from just watching an amazingly animated movie, so it just didn't hit as hard as it should have. But at the same time, it still hit hard, and I was really impressed. So anyway, I feel like that speaks for at least my opinion of the episode. So.
Yeah,
pretty strong.
I feel like to argue with Bacon a little bit, I feel like there was a little bit of a censorship with just how beat up Annie and Reiner look in the chapter, and it is something I remember. I remember this hand panel up here where Annie puts her hand out to stop the Azuma Bitos. I remember this angle. I might have put it on a PowerPoint, and that's why I remember it so much. But I did remember a lot of this stuff, but I reread it all.
I mean, there was a lot of blood. Like seeing that arm flop off. I mean, seeing that arm flop off was pretty visceral, and I mean, maybe when they're actually looking at them beat up and there's like more smoke there, so then that senses more. But then like this whole stuff where it's like almost needlessly edgy. I mean, I feel like it. I don't know if it was like it felt like edgy, but it feels also like they're maybe trying something a bit deeper. Maybe not because it was kind of anime and original when like the blood kind of rains upon the Mikasa, and I was like. I mean, I was like, cool. I'm happy with anything, but
on this point particularly, when Flock shoots the thing and it hits the water and there's like blood, it like comes out all red. I was like, what the fuck? Why is the water red? And I guess it was until I watched the fucking normies reaction. They're like, oh, there's all blood in the water. I was like, oh. And I don't think it looks like that in the manga at all. So yeah, in some case, it's always the anatomical stuff. I feel like anime is not scared to put a lot of blood in, but they're a little bit scared to have like a dismembered Titan bodies looking all bloody. I guess it's just different types of censorship.
I mean, Mikasa just does stab 2 dudes through each other.
Yes, but like their arms aren't falling off. That dude is missing a head, but it doesn't really look like it. It's like all. It's black. It's not red. But yeah, did anybody?
Blood and Mortar was pretty unrealistic. I thought it was an interesting contrast to the beginning of the chapter. So I think it's Daz that's falling down there. You're like, okay, it's blue here. It's not much. It's blue, and then over the fight because the 2 Titans are standing right there. Well, it's more like I thought it was the two Titans standing
Yeah,
right there, so they're getting blasted, so all their blood's going in the water right behind them. So when Flock falls in that patch of water behind him, that's why it's so bloody.
yeah.
At least that's why I thought. Uh, I thought that
Okay,
was a. Okay, I do have one issue with the chapter because they're
okay.
making Flock look cool. When Gabby shoots him, there's not that wide panel of him just
Yeah,
flopping in the water, looking kind of pathetic, and I kind of wish they undercut that, like showing him to be like, he outmaneuvers Hanji and then he gets out of the way of PX Jaws and, makes his way over and then he's about to shoot and he shoots and then you just get this wide shot of like, that one that you're on right
yeah,
now
yeah, yeah.
of Gary. I remember animating that for your
Ah,
video
yes, yes,
and I thought that
yes.
was such a cool little moment. When she's like, boop, and then he just splashes into the water.
It was
I
a
thought that
very
would be.
quick flash of Gabby in the episode. It was almost like I don't know if you were just watching this, if you would fully process what just happened. It was weird, like sort of how the shot composition, if that's even the right word. But
Yeah.
yeah, they didn't do
But
that shot at all that you're talking about.
I think it's because, at least from my perspective as a manga reader, I'm like, I know what's happening, but like in terms of like general anime tropes, they have close-ups and they're like, oh, they want to try and trick you into believing that Flock could actually blow up the boat
Yeah,
by having this big moment, right? And I think that's why they give him such a cool like animation moment beforehand to be like, oh wait,
he's
Flock
gonna
could
do
actually
it.
do this. He's getting a lot of focus. He's going to do it. But for me, I've watched so much anime that like at this point,
You
when
know
I
it's
see
not
him
gonna
do the
happen.
close up, I'm just like, I know it's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
So that's I guess a bit frustrating for me. Like if they just like if he just as soon as he's done his cool thing and they show his face and he's like, "Wah!" He just screams and then they shoot him. Like I don't know, but they do take time to see him actually like propel the thing and then see it miss. And anyway, it's a weird it's one of those interesting things that could probably be directed in so many different ways.
yeah.
So it's
And
interesting
it
that they
depends which
chose this
audience
way.
you're trying to please. Are you actually trying to like trick attentive people, or is the average person thinking like you are? There's a lot of things to consider. But yeah, I totally get
Mm,
what you picking up what you're putting down here. Did they hold on? I'm just
yeah.
scrolling through. Did they have this shot of like the bodies everywhere and the four of them in shot? I'm trying to remember. You'll have to look at my screen
Uh,
for the specific one
I think they. Ooh, I'm not sure if that's the exact one. Yeah, that's a good
because
question.
I
I
do
don't
really
know.
like this one too. I'm trying to remember. I don't think
Yeah.
so. I don't know. Anyway, um,
Ari,
Hmm?
what's your opinion, mate? I'm gonna drag you out.
Oh, all right. Uh, I would say, particularly on the Gabby thing, I was confused. I mean, I know that she shot him, but I was like, I don't know if I would be able to pick this out as her
mm,
shooting him. Um,
Hmm.
but
that's what I
other
thought
than
too.
that,
I
I
was
thought it
like,
was,
yeah,
yeah. Like, I like the way they did the flock thing. Like, I think it, I mean, to me, I think it works where it's like building up and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this could be the moment that changes everything. Especially if you're like the at least the people I watch with that I've told them there's only one episode left and the whole show is over. Um,
yeah,
so
that
that
it
could be
could
like
be
a
the
way of tricking them.
yeah.
I see. Yeah.
Because yeah, but yeah, I like I thought it was like pretty well done.
Yeah, I think this is one thing because I'm gonna go back to my cinema viewing of Jujutsu Kaisen Zero because I went with a lot of people I'd never watched any anime before with, and
Yeah,
there's a
same.
big wide range of opinions of what people like in anime. There's some people who are just like, dude, my favorite shows are Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, and JoJo's. I'm just like,
Hmm.
fair dues, my guy. And there's some other people who have got like some of the most obscure stuff, and they basically watched everything. Like, I've got a mate who's got maybe 13,000 hours of episode of anime watched.
Jesus.
Almost hitting, like almost hitting that. He's got maybe a 700 anime watched or whatever. Like, it's insane on the variety that he's watched. And so it is very like almost good to almost touch grass because you spend so
Mm.
much time online and you get into these curated circles where I'm so used to hearing stuff like what Kyle's saying or what you're saying or general other
Mm.
people because people who like Vinland Saga or people like Attack on Titan they generally probably like it for the similar reasons I do. They like their more character drama maybe and other stuff. But when people are just like, dude, I just like the action or
Yeah.
or or I've really liked this or that or and
How
then
do you
they'll
guys
say
watch the episodes? Like, do you watch them? I don't know, on your phone by yourself, like
I
with
watch them
other
on my
people,
Watch them on my
computer.
computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
computer.
But I
Interesting.
pause
Well,
it
probably why
because
I'm eating
sometimes I can't
something.
read as quickly as the subtitles are going.
That's why dubs are better.
Yep.
Dub gang,
Yeah,
let's
you
go.
first.
I had to hear. I had to go with the safe bet when I was ordering the tickets and just went to sub with Jujutsu Kaisen. It was a bit of pain.
When they
but you
release
know what?
movies like that, do they release the dubs and sub at the same time?
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I could choose to dub or sub at my theater.
If I accidentally
I
walk
chose-
into this
if I was
theater
gonna-
and I hear the fucking Attack on Titan dub, I'm going to video game myself. They're going to announce season 3
But
part
hey.
3. I mean, season 4 part 3, so I don't have to go to this cinema, right?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm leaning towards a movie now. I don't know. I'm hoping for a movie after seeing Jujutsu Kaisen and how like well they adapted that. I guess I'd look forward to a movie.
I mean, but like this may be like a really massive movie because like if you can because movies for anime tend to not be the. I mean, this is literally the finale of one of the biggest. I mean, I guess in the
Yeah.
West, like ever. Like it must be massive. So, yeah. I mean, like
Yeah.
this could be like this movie. Like if it is a movie, it could be. I mean, if it doesn't do that well in Japan, I mean, it could be really, really telling. Or it feels like on the actual climate itself, because if something like Mugen Train, which is just a small arc after the first season, like
Yeah.
it's. I mean, like it's
crazy
nothing
how well that
crazy.
did.
Yeah, it's like did so well. I mean, and of course, Demon Slayer is so massive in Japan. It's actually insane. And Attack on Titan is not that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is like the equivalent of like going to see Endgame, for anime, I guess.
Yeah, it's the difference between like an ending and just like an arc.
Mhm.
Yep.
I wonder if any of the other Attack on Titan movies were ever released in like Japanese cinemas and how well they did, because they do like those compilation movies. I feel like for at least the
Oh,
first
they
2
did.
seasons.
They would 100% be released in Japan. Yeah, wouldn't they? Japan. I don't want to say it like that,
Yeah.
but
The fuck, I was gonna say something about movies or something, but I forgot.
Evangelion.
Miller's saying
Oh,
stuff.
it could
and
be
I
like
want to
3
say
hours
this.
long.
I appreciate you.
That's a lot of animation.
They can make 2 movies.
They could. Holy shit! Ari just figured it out.
No, it wouldn't. There's no way. God damn,
Part
the amount
1
of like
and part 2, like
production
it's
that has
fucking
to go
Harry
into
Potter.
that.
Let's go.
I'd love that.
Let me
but I
let me
doubt.
have a look. So, Jujutsu Kaisen Zero, the manga's based off. How many pages is that?
Isn't it a
I don't
volume?
know.
I don't know.
I know
anything
it's
about
four chapters.
I know
or
it's
something.
yeah,
isn't
but
it?
how many like pages in that chapter? Because
No
they
idea.
must be pretty long chapters, right?
this. How long is the movie?
The movie will
Pretty-
probably
it's
be around
almost 2
about
hours.
2 hours. Yeah.
What do we do? Because I remember last time we brought this up, we did look up the Ava movie, and it is like 3 hours long, right? Let me look at no.
so
the
the
Ava
whole
movie is
thing-
2.5 hours.
Volume Zero is 200 pages, so it's just one volume. So, I mean, to be fair, when you have action, you can not pad out, but you can extend
Yeah.
that time a lot. Yeah, so, but like 200 pages, like that's 5 Attack on Titan chapters, and we've got 9 left after this next episode.
The next episode has to
mean,
do
I don't
130,
know.
123, or the movie has to do it as well. We did get the one flash in this episode of John remembering 123, so they have to do it now. They have to do it
10,
regardless.
so they have 10. Oh, okay, hold up, guys. 2 movies. If
might have
it's
figured
like
it out.
200 pages for like 1 hour and 45 minutes, then I mean, if it's a 3-hour long animated movie, now that would be something
That seems
special.
insane,
That would be
right? I don't know
something
if
really special.
Are there animated 3-hour
There's no
movies?
way.
I'm sure
highly
there are.
doubt it.
Is
Wait,
the third
three
Ava
hour
movie
animated?
longer than the first one? But that's fucking Studio Kara, motherfucker, not Mappa.
How long was Spirited Away? That was pretty long, wasn't it?
I
Yeah,
don't know, I
but
haven't
not
seen
3 hours though. Spirited Way is maybe 2
Oh, it's- yeah, it's-
hours.
yeah.
it. No,
Bit
the
over
third
2,
Ava movie is
yeah.
an hour and a half. Yikes.
Like
Yeah, I
like,
guess there really isn't.
like they're really like. I mean, and it makes sense because it takes so much to. The longest I can think of is A Silent Voice. Now that one was quite long. Silent.
Mm.
That was doing like 6 volumes.
The
So-
end of Ava is only an hour and a half long. Now that I'm thinking about
Silent
it,
Voice is only 2 hours and 9 minutes.
this
Oh,
fucking
boy.
this
Maybe-
fourth
maybe we
Ava
can't do a
movie
movie.
was pushing it. An hour and 35. But anyway, like I'm trying to think. Frozen is like probably 90 minutes, right? All these types of movies. I'm trying to think the last animated movie I fucking saw. It might be Frozen, yeah.
I must like so. I mean, I'm not sure if I said this last time, but I'm like so now I'm thinking about like if the production committee for these anime are like talking to Isayama and they're like, hey mate, like we call this the final season. There's no way we're finishing this in this season or even in the part 2 of the season. Like, could you hurry it up a bit? Like, do you wonder if there was maybe some like pressure from the anime production on
Probably
Isayama
not.
on how fast he finished it?
Well, they could have.
This is
I mean, they could literally just. What would the incentive have been originally to make it, to name it the final season? Like that seems like that. Why would you do that? That would cause all the issues.
I don't know why they did that. Yeah,
You know, it would be
yeah,
like a
call it season
perfect 10
4.
episode third part, right? We're thinking about movies here, but
Yeah.
like that's 10 more.
Maybe if
episodes.
they do
Wonder
12
Woman.
episodes, and maybe if they haven't 12 episodes and then they change the ending, and then everybody can be happy, and
Yes, maybe.
definitely people won't be
How
mad.
far are they
Yep,
from
true.
100? They're like 20, right? There's no way they're doing that.
They
get
could
to
just
the-
continue this season. Like, there's no evidence that they're stopping at 12. Like, it's
It
pretty.
could
No,
just
I
be
think there was an
pause
official
of
announcement,
season.
wasn't
Oh,
3.
there was. Oh,
Wait,
I
what
thought
did
there
you
was
say,
an
Bacon?
announcement.
I didn't hear.
At least my anime list updated from question mark to 12 episodes, so
Oh,
I'll take that as
that's
my
good to know.
gospel truth.
We'll definitely have the answer next episode, which is in 2 weeks. I mean, they said next week, but they'll do a post credits.
Oh,
thing
they-
or whatever.
Yeah,
they
I mean,
done
imagine if
last
they do that like double episode.
Wait, they could
that,
fuck you again by advertising the next movie as the last part, but it's actually just part 1 of the last part because they're doing 2 movies. God, they're fucking geniuses. This is the biggest fucking
'cause they-
scheme since
'cause they
making 2
said it's a-
Pokemon games each time. They're geniuses.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they say it's the final season, well, yeah, that makes sense because it is the final season technically because we got movies afterwards, right? So
Yeah.
they got us.
got him, dude. I have some friends who will be so mad. Like they were so sad that like Attack on Titan wasn't actually because I told them, dude, it's not ending. This I don't get your hopes, but it's not ending. Like they're like, dude, I just want to see it over, and I'm like, I understand, but I want good animation. It's like people who say they want Vinland Saga to publish more pages by Yukimura diminishing his art style, like his art quality.
Yeah,
I
people
guess.
say that
I'm
all the
just
time.
no,
Like, fuck
don't.
the art, just make the
don't.
things better. It's so stupid.
You expedient boys, you know, have
Plot
patience.
bros.
This man's
Put
been
him in the
doing it for us.
ground.
Yeah. Plot
In
bros.
a video game. Yes.
You know what? I had some hope. I met a bit of like I feel like a bro anime watcher. But yesterday, this was yesterday, and one of my mates was like, this guy reads Vinland Saga. You really like Vinland Saga, don't you? I was like, oh yeah. Oh no, I'm meaning a Vinland Saga fan in real life. Good grief. But then he said to me straight away that, oh yeah, no, last chapter was sick. It's been a slow arc, but you know, like, I've been really enjoying it. Like, Vinland Saga masterpiece. I was like,
Then you
dude,
told him about the channel, you plugged it, and you got a new subscriber, right?
oh no, I didn't. I'm just like this guy. I was tempted to be like, you know, I know the guys who translate that. No biggie, you know. But it was one of those things where I was like, dude, like if this guy felt like a normie anime watcher, not like in terms of like, oh, he doesn't watch anime. He's just watched a lot of the more normal types of anime. I was like, if this guy's enjoying this manga, that's good news. So I was like, oh, there's hope. There's hope for the ending after all. Everybody likes Vinland Saga. Sorry.
Yes.
Just talking about my one personality trait for a second there. We can go back to that.
That's all he has,
stuff.
right? Chad, cut him a fucking break. Do we want to hardcore pivot back into some of the episode talk, or?
All right, I have a question about
got
the
movie.
episode.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Go ahead.
Why
I
was
should've
it
left
called?
like a while ago? But oh well.
No. You got to stay here for this. So why is
Okay.
the chapter as well as this episode called retrospective?
Retrospective. It's the Magath and Shardis retrospective, reflecting on the thingy, and in retrospect, they train
guess,
people to kill
yeah.
each other, but they're actually friends. I just thought of that right now. It might mean something else.
I think that makes sense.
I think maybe it's got I was going to say it has something to do with Armin, but the last scene isn't in the chapter. It's only in the episode, which is from the next chapter. I was going to say it might be Armin reflecting while he can't speak, and that's like a thing. But
they used a lot of old music. I wonder if that's like.
I
yeah,
was
at least
vaguely
noticed
noticing
that.
the music, but I'm the worst at noticing music, so.
It was a lot of Mapify music as well. Like, so they used the same melodies, but it wasn't Sawano. I think as well.
Interesting.
Oh, I don't know why it's called retrospective. It feels a bit.
I think it
Yeah, it
must
doesn't feel
be
like
the
retrospective.
Shardist thing, the Shardist McGarth thing.
Yeah.
Because I remember when that
'Cause they
first happened in the
both
manga, I remember I was shitting on everybody's like happy day. I was like, this moment really didn't feel right to me. I like it now, but it's just a funny.
Thank God.
I thought it was
love that
done
moment.
really well in the anime. I really like
I
that.
They
agree.
did slow it down even more in the anime, I think, which works. I have this this panel up because I like this panel a lot. The one of them all carrying each other after the battle when
Oh yeah.
half of them are all fucked up. They did it well. They did like a why am my words failing me? It's not a zoom. They did a pane. The thing you do in fucking Premiere where
Panning?
you panel it across. What do you call it?
Pan.
Pan.
Dolly.
That's what I'm looking for. They did a pan, a horizontal pan.
It's what you cook your eggs in.
Yes. It was cute. I liked it. They did it well enough. I've had that on my screen for like 20 minutes because I wanted to bring it up, but yeah. Shardis has his fucking thing on, his fucking jacket on. Isn't it cute?
Yeah. I liked how. I mean, I think I probably clocked this when it first came out, but I clocked it again, so I got the same, endorphins releasing or whatever, dopamine releasing when I had that. So when it's like Shardis, he's not. No one ever knows that it was him that was.
Yeah.
That blew up the train and all this
He's
stuff.
a
It's
hero.
like Shardis is.
Finally.
Yeah, from
He's
from
special.
the shadows,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
He's
nice. I
it's
like
about doing the right thing, not getting recognition, right, Bacon?
Yeah, that's why I have a YouTube channel, so I
Uh-huh.
can get no recognition.
And just do the right thing. Oh, I guess I clicked on the next chapter just to see if the Annie scene was at the very beginning. It is indeed. We're getting to the bird. I can't wait for the bird discourse for the people who don't like the ending. Lamau Eren turned into a bird and you still like it? Question mark, they will ask. But the bird was in the shots. Yeah, it's going to be more obvious in the anime and people aren't going to like it. But,
I think it'll be the opposite.
You
Like the
think
more
so?
obvious it is, I think people will like it. Yeah.
I feel like the bird thing is something people will cringe at a little bit. Like, I think...
I
like,
think
I
the
get that it's
bird
not
thing
exactly
was
literal.
the leaks.
What did you say, Bacon?
I think it was due to the leaks. If someone is screaming, yelling, "Aaron turns into a bird," and everybody's like reading for 24 hours, and then it turns out that he kind of does turn into a bird, and then everybody's like, "Oh, I hate it," and then like, but for the anime,
In the
like, I
context,
think
it
if
works,
it was just like,
but yeah.
yeah, I think in the anime, like, people wouldn't have time to get wound up about it, as much.
Especially if it's in a movie and you can't have an immediate tweet.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then we go directly
get
into the
always
fucking
good ending.
Eren stuff next fucking episode. These are a lot of talking.
Yeah, I'm so
scenes.
looking forward to the next episode. I loved how the preview just didn't show anything, like at all. It
Yeah,
just showed the flashback.
it
I don't
showed
watch
him
the
and Zeke
previews,
talking,
but,
but yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't show any 120. I feel like this next chapter, there is like 4 or 5 like 2-page spreads at the end here. I feel like this might. I guess we already have to do 2 chapters because we have to do 123 as well to end on this. But I was.
I'm just realized this as you're going through it. So the memories do fade in and out while looking at the bird.
Yeah.
So Aaron is the bird. It's confirmed.
there-
He is the bird.
well,
It
He's
is-
actually the bird. Literally.
Kind
I'm a
of,
literalist now.
It's not. It's not
just a
entirely
motif
literal, but
that
it is a
symbolizes
symbol of
something.
Eren that we use to visually connect these things. And he's flying around,
Attack
and
on
the
Titan
bird carries
once
the thing
again,
to
ripping
Armin
off
and
the
Annie.
saga.
Yes. If you
Once
notice
again,
over
ripping
here
off
on
the
another
saga.
tab, I have a whole thing about birds and Shintoism in Japanese culture that I was going to read, but I didn't before
Wow.
stream. So maybe it'll give some insight into why everything uses these fucking birds. Why does Griffith want wings? Perhaps I'll find the answer here.
Well,
Be a good
okay,
video.
to get to expand on this for my personality trait, Vinland Saga, they also use birds, but they're Arctic terns, which are known to be incredibly long flying birds. I don't think it's the longest. I think
when did Vinland Saga use birds? Why am I
the
forgetting?
Gudrid, she's the fetid tern.
Oh, yes.
They had a whole bunch of chapters named after
They
that,
use the
so-
bird
'cause
cage
she's-
too in that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because
well,
Thorfinn wants to
fetid
free the
fetid
birds.
means being. Yeah, well,
In
yeah, well,
Halfdan's house, that's a different
because fetid means being chained, right?
Yeah,
And so,
yeah.
you know, she
I
becomes
got that fucking
unfettered,
far.
and so I mean, I think at least, you know, if they're like these long flying, it just means being free, because you know, what's more free than flying? Being, you know, defying gravity, as some may say.
I know
Shouts
in the
and
I know
reference.
in the Attack on Titan Defender, but God, is that lame? The birds are free because they fly thing. It's in everything though. In all of these Japanese mangas that I read. Maybe I'll soften on it, but you do get the blackbirds then in the next chapter with the grumbling stuff, which is really cool. Obviously, blackbirds mean death or whatever the fuck. I got that far, but I was nearly gonna say maybe they do 130 and 131, but there's no way. Is this movie really going to open on Ramsey getting
With
stepped
Ramsey,
I
I
hope
guess.
so. Well,
Oh.
no. I hope it opens on the tree, like with him on the hill. Like that's a great
Yeah,
start because it
that'll be a
parallels
good
with the beginning of the
connector,
series.
huh?
Like, yeah.
yeah. Shout outs to Ari's
Do you want to learn it?
fantastic
Oh,
video.
I was gonna do the fucking plug bacon, or I'd just steal my thunder. Go ahead, you do it.
Someone plugged my video.
Ari
Yeah.
did a video about trees or something. You should watch it. That's my
Yeah, how to keep care of them, make sure they don't get
yes,
that
how to make them grow.
Yes, yes.
disease on them.
Hopefully they don't grow too
Maybe get your
big,
dog
because
to
then
bite.
Chapter.
you might end the world. But
Maybe get your dog to bite on them, you know, so he can bark while eating bark, you know. So
good
Yes.
one. Good one.
thank you.
Um,
Jeez. I don't know why you dislike it, Carl. You're the one who says, "Oh, power of friendships and everything." So like,
It's
I don't know why
beautiful.
you're
I
gonna
love
get mad about
friendship.
them. Yeah, I like birds, bro. I don't know what like. Oh,
But it feels so
lame.
simple.
I can't believe this.
the birds fly, so
Attack
they're
on
not in
Titan
the
is simple. When has it
walls.
ever been complex? You're the one who says Attack on the Titan is not that complex thematically. So I mean,
Did I say that? I feel like my need to fucking reread this shit to figure it out contradicts that. Plug for the reread we're going to eventually do.
But maybe,
oh, John
maybe
remembers
it's
it
just
in the. Hold on, I'm just noticing something in the chapter because I didn't actually scroll through it because we didn't do it chronologically. John remembers the drinking thing in chapter 129, which is the chapter that is adapted in this one. So it's technically not showing something from 123. So maybe we're still.
Oh, that also reminded me that he had that flashback when they mentioned Liberia.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know that was where the flashback was taking place. Like, I guess it makes sense, but I just never thought of it.
It's like at the
Yeah,
outskirts
that's
of
true.
Liberia, right? Because they're in like a camp. Because that would
Yeah.
be why.
Because
Oh, I didn't
initially
realize
they
that then
he got
in
in trouble for stealing money.
131 when Ramsey gets stepped on, that's Eren reaching Liberia.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, it's interesting.
It's cute. Outside of this, like the logistic thing, I think is cool about how like the boat can't be made here, and we've got to go to a different port, and there we've got to make the boat. It's like a cool little like, oh, we have to actually do some things. I don't know. It's like a cute little attention to detail to push the plot forward. Now I'm actually scrolling through chronologically. Annie's
and wasn't it
kicking me.
convenient that they had a map that she could point to in that lower bunker there?
Yes, I was thinking about that, but it
Convenience,
kind of
I
makes
don't like
sense
that.
when they went to Mali. They
It
could have got a
does.
map. That would probably be an important thing to grab. So I guess it's
Oh, that was anime original that they went down there.
yeah. I thought that too. Where is the map here? No, yeah, she's just thinking of the map in the manga.
Yeah.
I think this might be the most anime original stuff the whole season. Probably.
Yeah, there was a really maybe I'm getting confused between Jujutsu. Was there like a shot where like you could see someone in the reflection of Hanji's
Yes, there
glasses.
was. Yeah, I like that
Okay,
shot.
that was a cool shot.
I don't
Cool.
know
I
if
was
I
just
remember
wondering
that.
because there's lots of glasses in Jujutsu Kaisen Zero, so I can't
I
quite
even took a
remember.
screenshot of that. Wait, let me have a look.
Oh, I haven't made a
Oh,
thumbnail
send it,
yet either.
please.
Huh. There was a cute moment here where in the anime, I think it's more pronounced when like MacArthur runs over to Connie and Arm and he like screams Connie, like sort of in what do you call why my words today in like with like affection of like, oh no, is he all right? That was cute. That was just something I noticed. I'm going to double up today and take another piss break. Talk
Wow.
about McGarth,
All right.
Ari, while Bacon's still here. You can bump off. What do you
McGarth.
call it? Bump off somebody? No, play off
Bounce
somebody.
off each other.
Bounce off somebody. Yes. All right, I'm pissing.
McGarth.
Okay,
I don't know what are we gonna say about McGarth?
what I'm gonna say is that I'm gonna probably leave.
Oh
And
boy,
so
all
when he comes back, we'll say. But
Yes, yes.
cool shot on the Hanji. I do like that. Okay, I like. She's
Yep.
got some real spectacles on there. She doesn't have
It's
any
true.
things to hold them on her ears though.
I just can't see
Oh,
them.
Attack on Titan ruined. Can't believe it.
It's not, unrealistic.
Anyway, I'm trying to keep this padded for a second. I know Carl probably listens to it on his phone, right? Anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit, and I'll see everybody on the on Carl's channel when we talk about Vinland Saga, which will probably be in the next week or so because there's no AOT episode coming out, but there should be a Vinland Saga chapter coming out, which is wonderful.
An exciting time.
I know. Well, best of luck, Ari, on putting that weight.
Yes, thank you.
As I go and try and pull my weight on my team project, but also in the gym. So, anyway,
Go
I'll
do
see you
your
guys
10
later.
pull-ups.
See you later, Miller. Love you. Kiss, kiss. Bye bye.
All right, hello chat. It's just me. What should we talk about?
What Bacon left?
He left.
I
He
see
left. I don't know what
kisses
to
in the
talk
thing.
about. Save me.
You're supposed to fucking
He's
at
gone.
least wait until I get back. He abandoned you. What a bastard. What does he even got to do anyway, huh?
No, we have to forgive him.
Yeah, I forgive him, I guess. So what were you talking about while I was gone then?
Absolutely nothing of relevance.
So you were shit talking me, huh?
Yeah, he thought you could still hear us, but
No,
I
I
guess
could
not.
not. I used to do that where I'd take the phone with me, which I should have done. But then there'd be a delay and everything. Now that I'm scrolling through this fucking chapter, though, I think we largely went over all the details. Besides, like, the changes. Oh, I did notice that there's, like, this... panel that Isama does, and he does it a lot in some of the earlier chapters from this season, where they'll do the Jaeger's face, where it's kind of like their faces are in shadow, but their mouths and their teeth are all jagged, so it makes them look crazy. There is one shot of that, I can't find it now, in this chapter, which makes them easier to kill, because they look like fucking psychotic.
I noticed, like, kind of the opposite of that, when Flock was giving his speech, like, where he's like, Shinzo Sasagi, or,
Oh,
like,
and the girl
they all
that
look
John
pretty...
shoots?
Yeah, they all look scared, and it's like, I don't know, it's kind of the opposite of what you were saying, bro. I'm like, I feel bad for these people, they're kind of crying and scared. And
that might be another difference. The girl that John shoots looks just like the girl he shoots from Kenny's squad. I don't know if that was like a callback
oh man,
or
I
whatever.
don't remember.
I think they have the same
probably.
color hair, and they both like have this nervous look. God, the more I think about it, I've been thinking about this a lot, and to plug our reread that we're going to start, I was so sure we were going to start it, or I was going to get my shit together so that we could start it before the fucking, before this shit all ended. But it might just be the week after. We might continue on or whatever. But
Before the movie comes out.
I was thinking back, like that shot of the girl. Yeah, hopefully before the fucking movie comes out. That shot of the girl, like Armin remembers the next chapter. That's some good shit. I've been thinking about this a lot. I've been thinking back to like the female Titan stuff. I'm like, Attack on Titan might have got worse. Like, this early stuff might be really good. I'm excited to go back and see what I think.
Wait, the girl that Armin remembers? What's this?
Because remember, Jean... I think I said earlier that Jean shot her, but Jean doesn't shoot her. And Armin has to shoot her. But then, like, they retroactively, like, show that she was also hesitating because she didn't really want to shoot them, but Armin did it anyway, and it's like, what a cute little moment. When Armin's thrown up and Levi gets
early
stitched
Attack
up
on
and he's
Titan is
got
good.
Yeah. Because I did do that arc ranking video, And I just
Yes,
did the
indeed.
simple every
It's a good
arc is better
meme.
than the last. I wonder maybe I'll remake that video after. Like I do updated tier lists, which we'll definitely have to do a third tier list after the reread. Maybe we should do it together to differentiate it. Though I guess we'd probably
Yeah.
have massively different
Oh yeah,
placements. So
John
that
is an
would be
S tier
bad.
character.
Who is Gene? Did you say?
Yeah. Yep.
We'll see. At least he wasn't. At least you're not telling me Owen is an S tier character. Yikes.
Oh, Owen's. Yeah, I don't know actually. What is Owen? I really liked Owen.
He's like an
as
A.
he'd be an A, yeah, I think. Yeah.
There's something about Owen. I don't know why I don't like him, but Oh, hold on. I want to see if this is in the It is in the manga where they're like pounding on the door outside of where they're going to explode it. I thought that was really cute in the anime too.
Yep.
The McGarth
I
Stratus
thought
moment was really good.
I thought this scene was really well done. Like there was new music as well.
Yeah, and then the
think, as
music
far as
as
I
the boat
remember.
explodes and you don't hear Gabby scream.
Yes,
Um,
yes. You don't hear the scream. You don't hear the explosion. It's a great, well done.
Now, Miller, cover your ears, but that is a trope, my new favorite word. I know I've seen that in a million other things where you like cut you play the music and cut like the diegetic sounds or non-diegetic sounds. I don't think diegetic is the right word to use there, but you cut out like the characters talking and you just have the. This is done in every Pokemon. Holy shit! Now that I'm thinking about it, this is done in every Pokemon movie where they play like an extended version of the intro song from the TV show, which and they usually and it's always like 20 minutes into the or 10 minutes into the movie, and they have a cool battle sequence where the animation's really good because it's a movie, and they always cut out the it's just the song playing and there's no audio. I just realized that might be a dub specific thing. Because obviously they dub over the dub songs, because in Japanese it has a different intro song. So in the Japanese version of the movies, it might not do that at all. It might actually have the dialogue, because the mouths are always moving. Like Ash's always saying something. Pikachu, use tackle or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. I should probably check in on that afterwards. I'll probably forget, but I just had a realization that broke my brain forever. I love the Rise of Darkrai movie and they're battling Empoleon or whatever with Pikachu. It's fucking sick. But they definitely don't play those goofy 4Kids ass fucking intros that I love more than life itself in the fucking Japanese version of these Pokemon movies. Anyway.
It's like me and Dragon Ball Z. I love the Funimation music.
Yes.
I can't even watch it without it.
The Bruce Faulkner or whatever.
Yeah, it's so good.
The white boy shit. Shake my head. But
Damn right.
I guess we can do overall thoughts, we can do an outro, and then we can continue on for the stream, I guess. But to wrap it all up, is there something that's been left unsaid that you wanted to say about this?
Oh boy, let me think.
Because I can't think of nothing right now.
I would say maybe the mid-episode card thing that came up.
Oh, I didn't get to read it because I wasn't watching on
weird.
Crunchyroll anymore, and I was watching on a fake site, and it didn't translate it. So,
I mean,
enlighten me.
Yes. So all it said was something like when Titans were the strongest, Titans were the enemy, but now that countries are the strongest, the countries are the enemy, or something. It was something like that, where it was a saying that like how the enemy changes based on the power system or about power balance at the moment. But I thought that was a bit weird. Like I don't know how it relates to what's happening at the moment, where it's kind of like the Titans are still the enemy in a way. But yeah,
I guess they mean like Paradis is a country and now the enemy, and Mali is...
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
But yeah, I didn't see the specifics, so I'm not... I don't know if I can comment on this. There was a cool shot of Cole when they were... like, it's a hard cut to the Cole. And they're talking about something before they cut to the Cole. And it was like...
Yeah, and
almost odd, but I liked
cutting
it.
and like shoveling it.
Yeah. Which is in the manga. I do remember Anya Capon shoveling that shit in, but...
Yep.
Other than
It's very useful with
that,
this final arc.
Episode good, different in the anime compared to the manga.
Yep.
I probably still like the manga generally always better, but season 4 part 2 has been a fun time. And now we gotta wait 2 weeks for the next one. How sad.
Indeed.
Anything.
Is this season... Well, I would just ask you, has this season part 2 been the best, you think, for the whole anime?
the thing is, for everything, and even including season 4, part 1, this is like the biggest crisis with me. I just don't trust myself more than 6 months ago, and anything I thought. I feel like I'm constantly changing sensibilities.
Yep.
Especially for like, everything before season 4, part 1. It's been since they aired probably that I've actually seen them, when it hasn't just been like a reaction rewatch or whatever. So I have no idea. I feel like the best time I probably ever had watching it was when I was watching season 1 and I wasn't a manga reader. Everything other than that. I remember really liking season 2 as it came out too, but that was just like, I was like 15 or 16, and Attack on Titan was back for the first time in like 4 years, and it was insane.
Yes. Writing in that notebook.
Yes. No, that was quite a bit before that. That was more like 12, 13, not 15, 16.
Oh my goodness.
But
I think I was like 20 when I started watching Attack on Titan.
Yes, I was deceptively young, and my brother is 3 years younger than me, and I was making him watch it too.
Oh my goodness.
Is that why he's such a fuck up? Maybe.
It's the bad morals in Attack on Titan.
But yeah, I think it's pretty great. It's better than all the things I remember. But I don't remember them too well, so I'd have to rewatch. It really hasn't done anything that's made me mad at all. Like, even when I'm like, the train shot wasn't as cool, I don't really care. It's not keeping me up at night. Like, I remember being kind of pissed off at season 4, part 1. Now, going back and rewatching it, I might like it, but I feel like it was just too quick. Wait, what did you say?
I'm a big fan of part 1.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it's kind of because the way I watched part 1 was like the first time probably watching with friends. So I would watch the episode, and then they would come the next week, and I'd watch it again with them.
Okay.
So it was kind of like I had 2 ways of experience it, like my own reaction video in a way, where I like see my friends react to it and everything, and that was fun. And they're not manga readers or anything, so it was a fun time.
I did that with season 1 a bunch of times. Like, sometimes when my friends would come over, when I still had real life friends back in like 8th grade, I remember my friends would come over, and I would like try and get each one of them to watch it when they came over. And for at least one of them, I think we got the entire way through season 1, which was all that was out at the time. So it always is fun where you're like, it's bad, like you breathing down their neck, like looking at them, waiting to see if they get it. But yeah, it is fun. I haven't. The last time I watched something with someone in real life that wasn't in a movie theater, I think that might have been it when I was like 12, making my friend watch Attack on Titan. I also watched Death Note with him the first time. And it was actually my first time through Death Note 2, and it was so fun. That's one of my most favorite viewing experiences ever, where we were trying to like get what was happening beforehand, and sometimes we got it, like we were faster than light and L, fucking geniuses down here at 12 years old. I remember specifically calling that Naomi, who I don't know if you've even seen Death Note, that she was using a fake name. As soon as, because Ryuk laughs the first time she brings up her name, and it's just supposed to be like, I think Light might say for a second, like, what the fuck is he laughing at? But I remember saying immediately, like, oh, she's faking her name, and it was like, oh, it was a great little fucking thing. That was like a great moment when they revealed it, and he was like shocked that I was such an intelligent young man. This is still in the Attack on Titan thing. This is post Attack on Titan wrap up discussion. I think you've said everything about about specifically this episode. We can outro.
Indeed, I've said everything.
Well, for Jarkey Bacon, who abandoned us, I think like 3/4 of the way through, and EliteAri, who has stayed with us till the end, and will be joining us on the reread when it eventually happens. I was going to say, like, we say goodnight, but that's not my fucking outro. We do say goodnight, and support links in the description below. Thanks.